And my camera's not on. Let's try this again. Give me 1 second, guys. For some reason, my camera's not connected. I'll be right back. Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and we're here to talk about Friday Night Smackdown. Last night's Smackdown was a pretty good show. We got some really good stuff from Roman Reigns on this show, I'm going to say that for sure. And we got an unfortunate announcement regarding Liv Morgan, what's going to happen with the women's tag titles, and so forth. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Sheamus is going for that U.S. belt, as first reported by Worked Wrestling earlier today. And some more stuff happened on the show as well. Again, I thought, in all, actuality, whatever, I thought it was a really good episode of SmackDown. I enjoyed it. I thought they could have done more with AJ Styles and Grayson Waller. That was kind of weird. Waller just kind of was just like there, interviewing AJ, not really playing anything up. So we'll get to that when we get to that. But with that, I want to thank you guys if you are watching. And remember, you can watch this a number of different ways. You can watch this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, or you can watch live or later on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or you can listen on podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more, which I do want to say thank you guys. Over the last 3 weeks, we have been getting more, I guess you could say, listens on audio podcast platforms than we have in a long time. So I do want to say thank you for that. I think it's up like 2.5 times what we were getting a month ago. So I do appreciate all of that as well, that you guys are listening over there. Now, the one thing we do ask is if you can leave us a 5-star review if possible, whether you're listening on Google Pod, Apple Pod, Spotify, or wherever else lets you guys give reviews. That would be greatly appreciated. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and it always gives you 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did, right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can support us on YouTube by becoming a channel member. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying the new Star Wars Jedi Survivor, getting into Lego 2K Drive that just came out today, trying to claim the free game, Death Stranding, or getting into Fortnite, Fall Guys, or Rumbleverse. No, not Rumbleverse. Fall Guys, Fortnite, or Rocket League. You can use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Again, claim that free game. It's Death Stranding right now, which is a really, really good game. Go on and get the Hello Kitty skins that are currently available for, what's it called? Fall Guys. Heck, there's more WWE skins available right now for Fall Guys. You can get a Macho Man skin. You can get, hold on, I'm going to pull this up on the screen, because you can be Mick Foley now in Fall Guys. Let's pull this up on the screen and show you guys. This is really cool. Well, you can be Rey Mysterio. You can be Mankind, Macho Man, or Bianca Belair. Let's watch this trailer. I haven't actually watched this yet. We're going to watch this really fast, actually. Let's watch this. I have not seen this trailer yet, so we're all watching it for the first time together. I will play the audio as well. So let's do that, and let's go. Very cool. So it looks like they have added, and actually, let me pull the image back up so you all can see it. So they have added into Fall Guys Mankind, Macho Man Randy Savage, Bianca Belair, and Rey Mysterio. That's awesome. I did not see that previously. When was this announced? Oh, this was just announced yesterday. Okay, because I see it here on the Epic Game Store. So if you want to get any of that for Fall Guys, well, do so and use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout. That's very, very cool. Very, very cool. Also, we're trying something new with the wrestling wrap-up on Mondays and Fridays. What I want is more interaction from the fans. So what you guys can do is go to pwunlimited.co/mailbag, and you will be able to actually submit a question to be read live on the air. Whether that is something that is topical with the news, and we can actually lump that in with one of our news stories of the day, or if it's just something else you want to know in wrestling or want to know to me, ask whatever. I will try to read all of those, or as many as I can, on the air every Monday and every Friday. So I will put that in the live chat right now. Submit your mailbag questions for the wrestling wrap-up now. And that is pwunlimited.co/mailbag. Unlimited.co/mailbag. See if that goes in the live chat. The link didn't work. Okay, hold on. Let's try it this way. Try one more way. Link's still not wanting to work. But you can just go to... Oh, that's because I did it wrong. Let's try it one more time. I'm messing everything up. Nope, still not wanting to work in the live chat. But go to PW Unlimited. I'll get it so it works next time. We go to pwunlimited.co/mailbag. And I will try to read your questions live on the air. Why is it not working now? It just worked a second ago. pwunlimited.co. Okay. /mailbag. There it goes. Now it's working. Now it's working. Let's try one last thing. Now this link might work in the live chat. It's still not wanting to. There it goes. Now it's working in the live chat. Okay, cool. You guys can click that and submit your questions, and I will try to read them on the Monday and Friday podcast. Again, pwunlimited.co/mailbag. With that, as far as tonight's Smackdown does go, again, like I said, I thought it was a pretty good episode of Smackdown, but I do have to admit, I missed the first 10 minutes because I lost track of time today. And by the time I realized what time it was, I was like, oh, crap. Smackdown's been on for 10 minutes. So I did not see the first 10 minutes of Smackdown. I turned it on, and Roman's yelling at Sammy. We're going to go right to where I started watching the show. I do apologize for not being on my game and being a crappy host, if that's what you want to call me. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Reigns started to speak. Wait, no. Here we go. Reigns said he only had one regret throughout his career, and it was wasting his life on Sami Zayn. Zayn would respond by saying that he only had one regret too, that he was not blasting him with a chair sooner. Zayn said that Reigns' greed has led them to this moment. Zayn said that Reigns has received everything that he's wanted in life, but at Night of Champions, Reigns isn't going to get the tag titles, even though that's what Roman wants. Zayn said that Reigns just isn't as good as he and Sami, and then he goes, hey, you guys aren't even as good as the Usos. Roman goes to speak as he looks super pissed off, and Jimmy and Jay run in through the crowd and attack the tag champs Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. KO kind of catches this out of the corner of his eye, but there's too much for him. They take out the tag champs. The Usos try to celebrate, and Roman is just steaming. Roman's like, what was that? I didn't tell you to do this. Da, 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 da. And he's in Jimmy's face, right? Turns around, bumps shoulders with Solo. Solo's just looking at him. Roman's kind of like taken aback, like, oh, I didn't mean it, Solo. I didn't mean it, Solo. Gets out of the ring and leaves. Very interesting there, the Solo spot. The whole Solo's just... And Roman kind of like... And then leaving. So we turn from the break, and we're in the Bloodline locker room. The Usos were pleading their case to Roman, and Roman is pissed. Roman is yelling. Roman asked them why they ran a quote, random stuff out there. Roman screamed at them saying, who's the quarterback? Who's in charge? Who makes the plays? Who this, who that? And they're like, you. He's like, yeah, I'm the tribal chief. You don't do things without me telling you to do it. And he's just going off and going off and going off. And finally he's like, you know what? Get out. And he kicks him out, which they had to leave anyways because they got to go get ready for their main event match against the LWO. But I thought this was all great. Roman saying, oh, I wasted so much time on you, Sammy, and this and that, and this is how you repay me. And then him yelling at the Usos as well in the locker room was great, saying, I wasted so much time on that guy, and this, and da-da-da-da. And Roman was great. The way Roman was yelling at the Usos was fantastic. I loved it. Pissed off, I'm going to yell at you and belittle you, Roman, is probably the best Roman. Heel, pissed off Roman is my favorite Roman. So then we got the Smackdown debut. Pretty deadly, or pretty great. Yes, boy. Anyways, I don't do it justice. So it was pretty deadly against the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Ridge Holland. Sheamus was on commentary as Butch and Wilson began the match. Prince quickly tagged in, and Butch stomped on Pretty Deadly's fingers. Holland tagged in, and Prince received a shotgun dropkick from Butch on Butch's way out of the ring. Holland suplexed Prince. Wilson got the blind tag, though, and then the two took down Holland. Prince came out of the sequence with a bloody running nose. I don't know exactly what happened here. Prince and Wilson then landed a combination leg drop, a combination leg drop and splash on Holland for a 2. Holland eventually got the hot tag to Butch with Wilson perched on Holland's back. Butch then tagged out to Prince. Tagged out. I wrote that weird. Butch hit Wilson with a kick to the ear, and Holland tagged in. Holland had both Prince and Wilson on his back and dropped them both. Holland and Butch landed stereo 10 beats of the Bowdrin on both members of Pretty Deadly. Almost immediately, Pretty Deadly then hit the spilt milk and picked up the victory. Kind of a weird finish to me, because they're getting their butts beat, and then they just hit their finish, and boom, they won. Like, huh? What? Where'd that come from? That finish kind of just came out of nowhere to me. Michael Cole then threw it to a Superstar Billy Graham tribute video. If you guys don't know, Superstar Billy Graham did pass away earlier this year. We then had a match. It was a 6 minute. Also, the first match went 8 minutes. Second match goes 6 minutes. It's Asuka and Zelina Vega. They're really making Zelina look good. Zelina looked like another viable opponent here for Asuka. She looked good against Rhea. She looked good tonight against Asuka. It's not just like, we're using Zelina for people to pick up victories and squashes. No. Zelina is not actually getting squashed, which I really like. So Asuka came at Zelina quickly here, but Vega countered with a roll through and a drop kick. Vega went for a 619, but Asuka moved and dropped Vega on the announce table. Back in the ring, Asuka toyed with Vega by kicking Vega in the head. Vega did fire up and landed a basement dropkick before getting Asuka in position for a 619, and got in the first part before heading to the top rope. Vega hit a Meteora and got a 2 off of it. The two traded some quick, clunky pinning attempts, but Asuka sank in the Asuka lock and picked up the victory. After the match, Bianca Belair would run down to break the Asuka lock that she didn't want to let go. Asuka then got the best of the champion after once again spraying her in the face with mist. I feel like she's done it twice now, sprayed her with the mist. So I feel like she's going to go for the mist at Night of Champions. Bianca's going to duck it, going to know better, and that's how she's going to win. She's going to duck it. Asuka's going to be like, I didn't get it. KOD, pick up the win, bada boom. That's what I think is going to happen with how many times she's hit her with the miss now and Bianca not really doing anything, retaliation or whatnot. So then we had the Grayson Waller effect. Waller started the segment about by reminding everyone about the history between him and AJ in NXT. Waller said that Styles is a first ballot Hall of Famer and asked Styles what winning the World Heavyweight Championship would mean to him. Styles recalled that his latest injury put him on the shelf longer than he's ever been out before. He said that he's been training harder than ever for this comeback and the title match that ensues. So Waller says, that's awesome that you're training so hard for this, but Seth's just out there on a movie set. And I go, whoa, they're really bringing that up. Wow, that shocked me. If you guys don't know, Seth Rollins is going to be in Captain America New World Order. And he's going to be one of the villains in the Serpent Society. So he's been for at least a week now, or a business week now. I don't know how many days he's been on set, but since Monday and even going into next week, he's going to be on set for that movie. Because he's filming next week as well, hence why he's not going to be on Raw. But yeah, I really like that they brought that up. I like it because it's like, yeah, AJ's taking this super seriously is Seth. So if they're trying to tell us that Seth is not taking this upcoming title match serious, when Seth wins, how does that make AJ look? You know what I mean? Anyways, Styles talked about Seth and said that that's what he wants to do. That's what he's going to do. Waller predicted that Rollins would win the title in the end, and AJ stood up like he was mad about that. The two then had a slight stare down, and the segment just ended. I wish there would have been more tension between the two to build towards a future match. Because these two, when they had their match in NXT, it was really good. And since then, Grayson Waller has only got so much better. The LWO were shown talking backstage. Santos Escobar said Latinos all around the world need to know what the LWO is really about. Ray said that, well, they'll find out tonight when they take on the Usos. And what happens when they mess with the LWO. They all traded handshakes. Then we had a 4-minute match. The Street Profits against LA Knight and Boogs, Rick Boogs. Not much to this match at all. The crowd popped for LA Knight during his entrance. Knight then cut a promo in his entrance saying that he could beat the Street Profits with anybody. And then introduced Boogs, basically saying, I want to face the Street Profits, and they told me I had to have a partner, so I just got this guy because he was the first guy I could find, is what it sounded like. Ford mocked Boogs to start the match and tried to clothesline the big guy. Boogs sold nothing. They made Boogs look like almost, not quite a monster, but like a big, strong, holy crap guy. Boogs bench pressed Ford over his head 10 times to a little response from the crowd, though. He then grabbed Angelo Dawkins and curled him. He curled Dawkins, and Michael Cole played it up on commentary like, but Dawkins is not a small feller. He then landed a shoulder tackle to Dawkins to knock him down. Crowd finally started getting into Boogs here a little bit. Knight tagged himself in and took Dawkins down with a double shoulder tackle. Knight then slammed Dawkins and landed a leaping elbow on Dawkins for a 2. Boogs tagged in, but Dawkins slipped away and tagged into Ford, who Ford hit a crossbody on both Boogs and Knight. Ford then landed a series of kicks on Boogs, with Boogs and Knight on the outside. Ford landed a senton on them both. Back in the ring, Ford hit a frog splash on Boogs and picked up the victory. After the match, LA Knight helped Boogs to his feet and then took him out before leaving the ring. So there we go. Maybe we get Boogs and Knight next week or in the couple of weeks. I don't know. They didn't announce it for next week that I saw. Let me double check. No, they did not announce it for next week. In the back, Cameron Grimes is being interviewed by Megan Morant. Grimes said that being on Smackdown feels like he's living the dream. Grimes said that he is determined to go straight to the top and, of course, to the moon. Jimmy Cross was then speaking to nobody in particular, and Scarlett pulled out one of her tarot cards that had AJ Styles on it. They really didn't say much more after that, and basically let us know that we're getting AJ Styles and Karrion Kross going forward sometime soon. And, well, it was announced this match is taking place next week. AJ versus Karrion Kross. Why? I don't know. The cards told him to. Then we got a hell of a squash. Alba, Fyre, and Isla Dawn against Valentina Feroz and Yulisa Leon. Match went less than a minute and a half. total squash, but I like it. Showing us that Alba, Fyre, and Isla ain't two just blokes to mess with and technically should be in that four-way for the tag titles. Dawn beat up everybody in sight to open up the match. Fyre and Dawn ultimately made some quick tags on Leon and Faraz before hitting their finisher and picking up the victory. They're still NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, so I don't know what's going on with that. So then we got the announcement from Michael Cole that new Women's Tag Team Champions need to be crowned. And I go, wait, what? That means Liv's really hurt. He then stated that Liv Morgan is out injured. She's going to miss a significant time away from the ring. And because of that, new tag team champions need to be crowned since her and Raquel have been stripped of the belts. Michael Cole would then let us know that in 2 weeks' time, well, a week from Monday, I want to say, so a week from next Monday, a four-way will take place. That four-way will see 4 teams in Raquel Rodriguez and a mystery partner, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, Bayley and Io Sky, and Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green all battle for the vacant Women's Tag Team Championships. It did not state who Raquel's tag team partner will be, but we will know by next Friday on SmackDown because it will be, as we learn later, Raquel and her mystery partner against Io and Bayley. Fast forward a little bit, later on in the show, Raquel was being interviewed about this, and Io and Bayley would interrupt and say, hey, not only was Liv injured in the match last week, but what people aren't talking about, Dakota was also injured in the match. Don't know how significant her injury is, but that's why it is Bayley and Io representing Damage Control in the title match in the four-way, not Io and Dakota or Bayley and Dakota. So that's an interesting one. The Dakota was also supposedly injured by, that's what Bayley said, not injured by Bayley, but Bayley noted that Dakota's also been injured, but didn't state what the injury is or how bad the injury is. So then we got Austin Theory, the U.S. champ. Theory stood in the ring with a microphone and said everybody knows who he is. Theory said last week he was ganged up on by Bobby Lashley and Sheamus as the crowd is giving him the what treatment. Theory said that Lashley had a weird obsession with him, and he doesn't understand why Sheamus has a problem with him either. Theory said the things that they have in common, or the things that he has in common with Sheamus, like the fact that they both beat John Cena, is one big thing. He said, but naturally, he started to talk more, and Sheamus' music would hit. Sheamus would make his way down to the ring and grab a microphone. But then instead, he didn't say a word. He just hit him with the bro kick, dropped the mic, and left the ring at the end. We have learned that next week on SmackDown, the United States Championship will be on the line when Austin Theory defends against Sheamus. Basically, Sheamus kicked his head off and got a title match. Backstage, Paul Heyman was speaking with the Usos and said Roman forgave them. Interesting, Heyman's doing this and not Roman. The Usos asked Heyman if Reigns would be out to support them during their match later, but Heyman said that Reigns will not be out there. Heyman said that the Usos are only facing the LWO, so it should be an easy win. The Usos walked out of frame as Heyman grabbed his cell phone. We learned a couple of things for next week's show, which is actually being taped as we speak. KO show will return with special guests Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. And I'm like, really? Why? It's going to be the same thing we got today. Why do we need the KO show with Solo and Roman if we already got the face-to-face with all them talking? That's kind of redundant. We also did learn as far as action does go, the U.S. title will be on the line when Austin Theory defends against Sheamus. Karrion Kross will take on AJ Styles, and Raquel Rodriguez and a mystery partner will take on Damage Control's Bayley and Io Sky. Then we got our main event. 14.5-minute match. It was the LWO's Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar against Jimmy and Jay Uso. Mysterio and Jay started off the match, but Jimmy quickly tagged in, and the two worked over Rey. Mysterio fought back, and Escobar tagged himself in as the LWO took control and ran wild on the Usos. They even posed in the ring as we went to commercial break. When we returned from said break, the Usos had the upper hand on Escobar inside the ring. Reigns and Solo were shown watching backstage in the locker room. Escobar eventually dropped Jimmy to slow things down and tease a hot tag, but Jay tagged in and kept the Usos in control. Jimmy tagged in again and landed some strikes on Escobar in the corner. Escobar then got some life when he kneed Jimmy and landed a hot tag to Mysterio. Jay tagged in and Mysterio hit a springboard crossbody for a 2. Jay kicked Mysterio in the midsection, but Mysterio responded with a destroyer and a 2 count. Jimmy then interfered and kicked Mysterio in the back of the head. Jay then landed a neck breaker for good measure. He got a near fall off of it as well. Jimmy then tagged in and lifted Ray, but Ray kicked his way out. Ray then took the Usos down over the top to the outside. Escobar then tagged in and hit a splash onto the Usos outside. Back inside the ring, Jimmy and Santos started trading blows. Mysterio tagged back in and went to the top rope, where he landed a leg drop on Jimmy, but Jay broke up the pin attempt. Jay then super kicked Escobar, and Ray threw Jay to the outside. Ray went for the 619, but Jay broke it up and instead hit a Uso splash for a very close near fall. The Usos then went to the top, but Kevin Owens showed up and distracted the Usos while Sami Zayn interfered. Ray then hit a 619 on Jimmy. Escobar then hit a splash from the top, and that was enough for them to pick up the victory. The show ended with a shot of Roman looking even more disappointed than he was earlier in the night. So yeah, Sami and KO screw the Usos, further pissing off Roman. And remember what Heyman said earlier, it's just the LWO. Should be an easy win. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't when you got the Undisputed Tag Team Champions getting involved as well. With that, guys, that was Friday Night Smackdown. A good show overall, I will say. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, you know what I thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys out there in listening land thought of the show. As we look at the polls, let's refresh those. For some reason my Twitter closed. Let's reopen Twitter. Let's refresh the community poll. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so as far as the Twitter poll does go, 54% liked SmackDown, 33% thought it was just all right, and 12% didn't like the show. As far as the YouTube community poll does go, 72% liked the show, 23% thought it was just all right, and 5% did not like it. Looking at some of the comments here, this person says, I liked it. Debut tonight. Person says, SmackDown was all right, 6 out of 10, and this person said mid. Looking at the YouTube live poll here, 62% liked the show, 30% thought it was just all right, and 7% did not like it. As we look over at the Twitch poll right now, 75% liked the show, 25% thought it was just all right. With that, guys, that's it. That's going to wrap everything up. I do want to say thank you, whether you're watching live on Twitch, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, live or later on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or listening on podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We'll be back Monday morning for the wrestling wrap-up. Remember, get your comments and questions in at pwunlimited.co/mailbag, and maybe your question will get read live on the air. With that, guys, have a great weekend. I'm going to be at the lake all weekend. I got a photo shoot Saturday night. This stuff's going to be fun. I got a fun weekend planned. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.